Hi everyone, this is Michelle. Welcome to my channel. Please enjoy this complimentary 1-hour yoga class. We do this class virtually every Saturday morning. You can find the link at my website at www.BelleYogi.com. I hope to see you there and happy holidays. All right, we're gonna get started. Maybe a few others will join us. So let's get started in crocodile pose today. So come down onto your belly, into Makarasana again. You'll either stack your palms or your forearms, rest your forehead against either the forearms or the palms. Your toes can be pointed straight back or out to the side, whatever's most comfortable for you and your body. And then just take some time here to settle in. And start to feel the breath as it gently presses into the floor. The belly presses gently into the floor and slightly pulls away. So this is a really awesome pose to help us connect deeper towards the breath. So just notice the qualities of the breath here. Notice any shakiness or smoothness of the breath. Notice how full or shallow the breath feels. Notice how quiet or noisy the breath is. Notice the continuous nature of the breath, or perhaps the pauses in the breath. Notice those as well, if there is any. And just allow your inhalation to nourish you. And the exhalation to cleanse, to release, let go. And take just a few more breaths here. If there was a pause in the breath, especially between the exhale and inhale, see if you can eliminate the pause without too much effort. So it's not like a forceful elimination of the pause. Just gradually making your breath a little more healthy. So a healthy breath is one that is smooth, one that is deep, continuous, quiet, and even. So not only are the inhalations and exhalations the same length, but also the same in quality. So like I said, the inhales are the nourishment, the exhales are the cleansing. So just make sure you're getting equal nourishment, equal cleansing. And you'll try to tap into these 5 qualities of breath throughout the asana practice today, but when it gets a little more vigorous, you'll probably lose that breath, and that's okay. That's normal, right? There's times that we'll need to breathe differently than this, but this is the way your body wants to be at rest. And then slowly make that transition to child's pose. So you'll gently press your hands into the floor, press your seat back towards your heels, bring your big toes together, and just rest your forehead down on the mat. Extend your arms long. And now notice the breath and the differences here in this posture. How does it feel different? And maybe what is similar? See if you can make this more of a active child's pose. So start now to extend your arms a little more forward. Allow your elbows to lift off the floor. You can even kind of tent up your hands, like come onto the fingertip pads. Really just breathe there, feeling a little bit of a stretch in the shoulders and the arms. Good. And on your next inhale, you'll come forward into all fours. You can keep your big toes together, and as you exhale, let's just press it right back to the heels. Do about 5 of these. Inhaling, coming forward. Exhaling, moving backwards. And as always, this is an invitation to truly listen to your body and move with your body's needs more than my instruction. I like to tell you all that your body is your best teacher and knows better than I could ever know what you'll need today. The next time you move forward, let's separate those feet and just come into that table pose. Tabletop, hands under shoulders. Spread the fingers nice and wide and start to move the spine. So inhale, arch your back, and exhale, round your spine. Again, move to the beat of your own breath and see if you can match the movement to the breath rather than matching the breath to the movement. So we don't have to manipulate the breath to match the movement. We're manipulating the movement to match the breath. Good. It's helpful here if you continue to close your eyes or just keep your gaze soft. You'll be able to go a little more inward, deeper. And then if you want, you can start to activate Kuchana Prasarana, which is that abdominal squeeze right in the center of the core. So as you exhale next, perhaps pull the navel in and up slightly. And as you inhale, you'll allow the belly, the abdomen to fully relax as you arch your back. So again, exhale, you're gonna have an energetic upliftment through the navel. And then inhale, allow that to release. So I've been talking about this a lot lately, but this the abdomen is a pranic hub in the body. It really holds a lot of your intelligence, right? This is where it's stored. And this, once you start to activate this area, you start to awaken the intelligence of the body. And that is your guiding force. That is your life force, right? That helps to guide you, to lead you. And then once you had enough of that abdominal squeeze, let's just take it back to child's pose again, just to take some notes. Take notice of what might have changed, might have shifted. And breathe. Now from here, you're going to come to all fours, curl the toes under, lift your hips up and back, and take your downward facing dog. So now we're in Adho Mukha Svanasana. Your hands are pressing into the floor. Feel your pelvis super high towards the ceiling. You might want to draw your navel in slightly as you breathe here. And look between your feet or even between your thighs, if that's comfortable for your neck. On your next inhale, we're going to step the right foot in between the hands. Drop your left knee to the floor. Allow your chest to lift up slightly and your hips to drop down. Make sure that that right knee is right on top of the ankle. And then on your next exhale, you're just going to step it back to down dog. It's a big range of motion here. Inhale, left foot forward, drop the right knee, lift the chest. Allow the hips to press forward and down. Take a few breaths once you get there. And then on your next exhale, again, step it back. We'll do this again. Right foot steps forward, big step. Drop the knee if you'd like. You can even keep it lifted. Hold it here, breathe. And then step back. And left foot forward. And then step back. And do it one more time on your own, at your own pace. I'm just beginning to warm up the hip flexor, the psoas, the back of the legs, the lower back. And then you'll end in that downward facing dog. From here, you're going to walk your hands back one at a time towards your feet. Allow the upper body to hang down towards the lower body. Maybe that means grabbing opposite elbows, letting those arms dangle. And as you inhale next, press into your feet, reach up through your hands, and exhale to Tadasana at the back of your mat. Mountain pose, hands come down by your side. Good. Inhale, we'll reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, we'll fold over your legs. Inhale, flat back, look up. And then you're going to walk your hands forward one at a time into high plank position, shoulders right over the wrist. From here, you have the option of dropping your knees, coming down into low plank. Inhale, let's lift the chest up. Keep the thighs and knees down for now. And you can even come into a little cobra with the lower belly on the floor as well. Just take a few deep breaths here. Either Bhujangasana, Cobra, or High Cobra. And then we'll come back to Down Dog. So it's kind of like a little reverse Surya Namaskar that we're going to do this morning. Just take a few deep breaths here. Make sure that you're pressing into your thumb and index finger just as much as you're pressing into the outer edges of your hands. Good. And then we'll start to walk the hands back again. Walk the hands back slowly towards your feet. You're keeping the core nice and engaged. Take a few breaths here, this forward fold. Allowing the lower back to relax. Maybe there's a little bend in the knees. And as you inhale, let's reach up towards the ceiling again. Exhale, mountain pose, hands by your side. Inhale, arms reach, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward bend. Inhale, lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. And then walk your hands forward. Super slow and controlled. Hands come under your shoulders. From here, lower down into low push-up. Maybe keep those knees up this time. Inhale, lift the chest, perhaps lifting the knees and thighs off the floor. And exhale, move back into downward facing dog. Good, breathe. Find your breath. We'll do it one more time. Slowly walk your hands back, one at a time. Rest here for a moment in this forward fold. Inhale to rise, reach up. Exhale, hands down by your side. Last time, inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Walk forward. High plank. Hips are in line with shoulders, low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. All right, from here, lift your heels up, bend your knees, look forward, walk or hop to the front of your mat. Lengthen the spine. Exhale to fold again. Inhale to rise, arms reach up. And exhale, hands come down by your side. Bend your knees, reach your arms up, chair pose. So see if you can either squeeze the knees together or you can keep your feet hip distance apart, knees hip distance apart. Reach your fingers up towards the ceiling. You're going to build a little bit of heat here. All right, so tapas. A little bit of tapas, a little bit of heat. Breathe. And that heat is what transforms, right? So whenever you're building heat in the body, you're allowing on a cellular level things to change, things to transform. Good. On your next exhale, let's fold over your legs. Uttanasana. Lengthen the spine. Hands down, walk or hop back, high to low plank. One more time. Maybe warming up the body. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, down dog. Good. Just take a moment, drop back down to child's pose. Sit back in BelleYogi, sit to your heels, relax the forehead down. Try to keep this nice and active. We're still in the beginning of the practice, so keep those arms forward, the elbows up, keeping your arms engaged. Good, and just breathe. Good, back to all fours, lift the hips up, down dog. We'll lift the heels, bend the knees, take your ribs towards your thighs. And just take a moment to really see if you can rest the rib cage right on the thighs. Keep your heels really high. This is a really good stretch. Maybe even drop your head down. Then look forward and see if you can take a hop forward towards the hands. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, reach up, and then hands come down by your side. From here, we're going to take a big step back with your left foot and then turn all the way. Your toes are going to turn towards the back of your mat. So your left toes will face the back, right toes are going to slightly turn in. Arms are going to come out to a T, and we're going to hinge forward and down, left hand down, right arm up. So triangle pose facing the back. Good. Now lean that torso back over that left thigh. Energetically, everything's going to reach upward towards the right hand. So even though your left hand might be on the foot, the shin, whatever it's on, try to reach up through that right hand so that you're almost weightless on this left hand. Sometimes it's even helpful to peel the left hand away from the shin and just kind of press it against the calf there. That will help you engage through your abdomen more, right, and make this a little more strength-based. Great, so press down through the feet now. Inhale, let's come back up, lift the torso, and then turn the feet again. Right toes are going to face forward now, left toes turn slightly in. The hips are still going to square towards the long edge. But now you're going to kick that left hip back towards the back of your mat as you reach your right arm forward, 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 and then down. Again, see if you can maybe just take the hand, float it. You can also have your hand under a block, of course. But lean that torso back over that right thigh. Feel strength through your legs and even your pelvis. So there's an activation there with Mula Bandha. Steady breath. Good. And on your inhale, come all the way up. From here, we're going to turn the feet again. Left toes are going to face the back. This time we're moving into Parjv Khannasana. So bend your left knee, take your left forearm on your thigh, reach your right arm up and over. So we're back to the back. So left knee bends, Kelly. We're just going to go back and forth here with our standing poses. So you're facing the back again. Your right fingers are reaching towards the back of your mat. Find this nice diagonal line from the outer edge of the foot through the right fingertips. Good. Now on your inhale, come all the way up and we'll switch the feet again. Right toes face forward. Bend your right knee, right forearm on the thigh, left bicep up and over your ear. So again, you're reaching your left fingers forward. You're rooting down through the outer edge of the left foot and feel that line of energy coming up from the foot all the way out through the fingers. Good. All right, we're gonna do it again. Inhale, press down through the feet, lift up, turn the toes. This time, we're either going right back where you were, or you're gonna try to come down a little further. Maybe hand comes on the floor outside the foot or on a block. Right arm reaches up and over. It's a deeper twist here, deeper, because your hand's on the floor. Breathe. Good. Press down through the feet. Inhale to rise. Switch again. Right toes face forward. Bend that right knee. Same thing here. Either forearm comes back to thigh or go deeper. Right hand on outside of the foot. If your hand is on the floor, try to press your knee into your shoulder and almost move your right ribs a little bit more to the left. Slightly. It's a bit of a twist here. Good. On your inhale, press through the feet, come all the way up. And now we'll turn our toes in. Your heels will be slightly out. Take your hands to your hips. Inhale to arch your back, look up. Exhale to hinge forward from the waist. Nice flat back as you come all the way down. Take your hands to the floor. Lengthen the spine, look up. Exhale, walk your hands back. Heels of the hands in line with the heels of the feet. Try to press your top of the head down to the floor. Good. As you're pressing the top of the head down to the floor, shift the weight forward towards the toes. Good. Breathe. Be really mindful of how your body's receiving this pose. With the breath, sensations in the body. On your inhale, walk your hands back under your shoulders. Take a flat back. Exhale, hands come to hips, elbows up. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. We'll do a second Parjv Khannasana. And arms come out to the side this time. Interlace the fingers behind your back. Puff your chest up as you press your hips forward. Look up, lean back. And then as you exhale, hinge forward from the waist. Nice flat back again as you bring the crown of the head forward and down. You're going to try to reach the hands up and over your head, and maybe you can take the hands to the floor in front of your head and then hold it there. Good. Breathe. Good. Then just release your hands, place them under your shoulders again. Flat back, look up. Exhale, hands to hips, coming right out like we did before. Inhale, lengthen all the way up to stand. All right, from here, come back to the front of your mat. We'll go right back to chair pose. So we're gonna come into chair pose. If you can, bring your big toes together. If not, knees are apart, feet are apart. We're gonna bend the knees, come into that chair, and we're gonna do a little twist here. So you'll take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, twist to the right side. Take your left elbow outside your right knee. Yep. Twisting to the right. Now pull that left knee back in line with your right knee. Yeah, and then try to sit down just a little bit lower so that your heart is higher than your hips. Yeah, you're pressing your elbow into your thigh, and then see if you can take your lower belly a little bit away from the thigh. So you're kind of slightly pulling it away, not completely resting your lower belly on the thighs. You're finding a little bit of space. Once you find that space, you'll be able to press your elbow into your thigh more and twist your left ribs to the right a little deeper. Be really mindful that you're not too aggressive with it though. Okay, on your inhale, we'll reach back up through center. Keep your seat low. And on your exhale, you'll twist to the left. So again, take your right elbow now outside your left knee. Make sure the knees are in line, so just take a glance down. And then press your elbow into your thigh a lot. Press your knee back into your elbow. And again, try to sit down lower. Lift your heart up, but your butt is lower, right? Good. One more deep breath here. One more big exhale. On your inhale, come all the way up to stand. Extend your legs, reach your arms up. Take a heel lift. So lift your heels up for a moment and just balance. For 3. For 2. And 1. Lower your heels to the floor. You're going to separate your feet and let's take a forward fold. You can take the big toes with your peace fingers, lengthen the spine, and exhale, we'll fold. Padangusthasana here, hand to big toe pose. So if you have your elbows out to the side like me, see if you can take your elbows in towards your shins. So on every exhalation, you'll just kind of pull in a little bit deeper. So I'm pulling up on my toes, but I'm also pressing my toes back into the floor. So you're not letting the toes lift, you're actually pushing the toes actually back into your fingers. Right? And then shift the weight slightly towards the toes. You can even keep a little bend in the knees. For me, I'm usually hyperextending through my joints. So I tend to bend my knees in most poses a little bit so I don't hyperextend. And it just feels better in my body. And just breathe. And on your next inhale, let's take a flat back, look up. This time you'll take your hands under your feet. So lift your feet up. The palms are going to come under your feet. So palms face up towards the ceiling. Lengthen through the spine, look forward, and then exhale, fold deeper. This time, again, take your elbows out to the side, not towards the shins this time. And see if you can lean your weight forward. So my toes are all the way up to the wrist creases. And if you can't quite get that, see if you can bend your knees and you might be able to get them a little higher towards the wrist. Then you shift the weight forward. So you're taking this nice counterbalance from all the, we did a lot of chaturangas in the beginning, all this flexion in the hands. You're taking a counterbalance to that. It's also really good if you're on your phone a lot and you're typing with your hands. Or if you're slinging Christmas trees like Bianca, this is also probably good for your hands. Good. And then inhale, lengthen through the spine. You're going to take your hands to your hips, come all the way up to stand, and just take a moment to settle in. So let's take that moment with our feet grounded down, the eyes closed. You can always draw your hands to your body if you need a little extra love here. And just start to tune back into the breath. So we're just taking moments to pause, to check in, to breathe diaphragmatically so that the abdomen is relaxed. And then you'll release. All right, let's take a balance here. So shift the weight into your right foot, lift your left knee up into your chest. Just take a little squeeze here. And then see if you can interlace the fingers beneath the thigh and then drop the weight of the thigh into your hands. So you're sitting up or standing up nice and tall, root down through that right foot, reach up through the crown of the head. As you inhale, let's extend the right leg straight. And as you exhale, let's bend the knee. Flex the foot. Inhale again, extend the leg straight, point the toes. Exhale, flex and bend. One more time. Inhale, extend and point. Exhale, flex and bend. Good. This time you're going to take your the left hand to the front of the shin, the right hand to your hip, and you're going to open up the knee. Externally rotate that hip. And then let's put it into tree pose. So the foot can come high on the inner thigh. You can drop the foot down to the calf or even keep the sole of the foot on the floor and just lift the heel up. You choose your Vrikshasana variation and then take your hands to heart center. Now see if you can energetically squeeze everything inward. So for me, you might be able to see my hip is slightly moving to the side. So you're going to suck that right hip inward. So that will help you grow a little bit taller through the spine, find a little bit more stability. Make sure that you are focusing on one point. If you're in the dark, it's a little bit harder to focus. You might notice the balance is a little more challenging. That's okay, it's a good challenge. Good, and then see if you can reach your arms up over your head. Separate your hands. Continue to find the focus here. If you want more of a challenge, try looking up at the ceiling or looking at your hands. Good, you guys. And then you'll draw your hands back to center. Take that left knee forward, release it down, and shake out that effort. All right, we'll switch sides, root down through your left foot now, lift your right knee up into your chest. Interlace the fingers in front of the shin to start. Start to feel really balanced through that left foot. And if you're falling out, have compassion for yourself. Have a little fun with it. Try not to be serious or judgmental towards your work, your practice. And then interlace the fingers underneath that right thigh. Let the weight of the thigh just drop down into the hands. And as you inhale next, extend the right leg straight, point the toes. As you exhale, you're going to flex the foot, bend the knee. Good, so do that 3 times. Inhale, extend, engage the leg fully. Exhale, flex and bend. One more time, extend and point, flex and bend. Good, then you're going to take your right hand to the shin, left hand to your hip. Open up the knee out to the side. Squeeze that left hip in. Don't let it come out to the side. And then place that foot either high on the inner thigh, on the calf, or on the floor with the heel up. You just don't want to put it anywhere in that knee joint. Draw your hands to heart center and think about an energetic squeezing inward. So your left hip is squeezing in towards the foot, but also the foot is kind of pressing into the thigh or the calf or wherever it is. So there's an equal force moving inward and upward. Once you're drawing the energy upward, it's really going to help you find that balance and stability. Beautiful, you guys. Let's take the arms up overhead. Try that. Maybe separate the hands. Make sure you're not holding the breath. Sometimes when it gets difficult, that's what your first inclination would be to just hold the breath, but see if you can stop that. Or resist that urge. Good. And then draw the hands back to heart. Take that right knee forward and release. Give it a shake out. Shaking out through the ankles, the arms. And we'll inhale, reach your arms up overhead, and exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Step your feet back. High plank position, nice and strong. Shoulders over wrist. Hold it here for 3. Hold it here for 2. And 1. Lift the hips up and back, down dog. From here, I want you to shift the weight into your left foot. You'll lift the right leg up towards the ceiling, giving a 3-legged dog. Find this nice long line from the hands to the right toes. And then externally rotate your hip like we did in tree pose. You're going to turn it out to the right. So your knee's now facing out towards the long edge of your mat. And then bend your knee and bring your heel to your seat. You can pointer flex that right foot. And see if you can put equal weight in both your hands. So all the weight is not now on your left hand. It's equal between right and left. Now extend the legs, square off the hip so you drop the right hip down a bit. And exhale as you pull the right knee in behind your right elbow. Inhale as you lift it all the way up. See if you can make that knee tap your elbow. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, lift. One more time, exhale, draw it in. Now move it down and drop that shin down for pigeon. Pigeon press, Kapotasana here. Ekapada Raja Kapotasana to be exact. Slide your left leg back. Walk your hands back to lengthen. And then exhale, fold over your leg. I'm going to attempt a pose that I don't often do, but it does require some flexibility in the hip joint. So just breathe here into the hips. Connect back with that smooth and deep, continuous breath. All right, start to walk yourself back upright. You'll curl the left toes under and step the right foot back. Take a moment if you need to kind of pedal out the feet. Maybe sway the hips side to side. And then left leg will lift up and back, 3-legged dog. Again, find this long line of energy. And now externally rotate. So the knee now turns out, or actually it's the hip. Turn from the hip, turns out to the left. And then you'll bend your knee, bring your heel to your seat. Even out the weight in your hand, so maybe shift a little more weight to your left hand. Extend the legs straight on. Now draw your left knee into your left elbow. Make it tap, shoulders come over wrist. Inhale, shoot it right up. Again, exhale, pull it in. One more time. Pull it in and then drop that shin down for Kapotasana. Slide your right leg back. Lengthen through the spine. Lift up on your inhale and exhale, fold over the left leg. Make sure you're not leaning all your weight to your left side. You'll want to even out the weight here, even in your hips a bit. So kind of moving your hips a little more to the right. Good. You're going to walk yourself back up on your inhale. Step the foot back on the exhale. And drop your knees to the floor. All right. So this is called Parjv Khannasana. And we're gonna do like a modified version first, and then we're gonna attempt the full thing. So you're on your heels, you're sitting on your heels, and I want you to lift your hips up and scoot them to the left. So now your feet are kind of on the right side of your hips. Okay? All right, from here, you're gonna inhale, lengthen through the spine, and then take your right hand outside your left knee, lengthen, and then start to twist. And see if you can kind of drop your right sit bone a little more towards the floor. So you're finding a really tall spine. It's just a gradual twist through the spine. Breathe here. Really good for digestion. And then you'll inhale, come to center. You're gonna lift up onto your heels again. And then you're gonna drop your seat over to your right. So your feet are now on the left side, okay? Now take your left hand outside the right knee, lengthen through the spine, and exhale, you'll start to twist towards the right. Again, see if instead of leaning all your weight on this right hip, I want you to kind of even out the weight. So you're kind of dropping this left hip, or left sit bone rather, into the floor a bit. And then we'll attempt that full version in just a moment. Good. Now inhale, come back to your seat kind of. From here, I want you to come down onto your seat. Your right knee is going to be bent, kind of like a virasana, like a hero's pose. And I want you to take your left foot on the floor. Does that make sense? So you're bending your right knee, your shin's on the floor, your butt's on the floor, and then your left foot is up. All right, so my right foot is outside the hip. Okay? Yeah, so you're sitting all the way on the floor, not on the foot. All right, from here, you're gonna take your left knee out to the left. Yeah? You're gonna take the foot up towards the pubic bone, and you're gonna place the heel right below your navel, and your toes are gonna be up. So this is a lotus pose, right? This is a half lotus, Padmasana, right? So this is not gonna be for everybody. And if this is starting to hurt your knees, any pain in the joints, the knees or the hips, you wanna get out of this and come right back to where we were. All right, otherwise this is what it looks like in the feet. Now, Kelly, instead of leaning all the way into your left side, try leaning a little bit more to the right. So the right sit bone starts to root down towards the ground. You're gonna take your right hand again outside your left knee, or on the thigh rather, lengthen through the spine, and then start to twist looking over your left shoulder. For some, you might wanna try to take a bind here by taking your left hand behind your back and reaching for that left foot. That's really a twisted thing. So your right hand is outside your left knee. Your left hand, if you want to try the bind, would be going behind your back and reaching for that foot that's in your right hip crease. Again, it's not going to be for everybody. Breathe there. Good. And then come back through center, and we'll release by just coming out of it. I lean back a bit. Maybe take a moment to kind of give your knees a little shake. And then you're gonna attempt the other side. So you'll bend your left knee down, so the shin's on the floor, and then take your right foot on the floor. So I'm sitting again on my sit bones. I'm not sitting on my feet. The left foot is outside the hip. From here, you're gonna take your right knee out to the side. All right, so you're moving from the hip joint rather than the knee first. And then you take your foot up, put your foot right below your navel, and your toes are gonna be in that left hip crease. Left hand's coming outside the thigh, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, start to look over that right shoulder. And again, try not to lean all the way to the right side. You're trying to even the weight between both of your sit bones. So a little more weight in the left sit bone might be helpful. And for those that want to take the bind, take that right hand behind your back and try to reach for the toes. And breathe. It's a pretty advanced move, but just thought I'd throw it in here today for a little fun. And then let's come through center. And then extend your legs again. Got a little siren going on here. All right, from here, we're gonna take Makarasana. So you're gonna bend your right knee. I take a fist usually and put it behind my right heel to make sure that's about as much space you want your foot to your thigh. Left leg will be straight. Sitting up nice and tall, I'm taking my right shoulder. So I'm gonna let my knee go out to the side just a bit. Take my right shoulder on the inside of the knee and you hinge forward from the waist. So your step one is just having your right tricep in front of your shin, your arms out to the side. Step two would be to bend your elbow and take a bind behind your back. Lengthen through the spine, look forward, and exhale, maybe bow a little deeper, chin to shin or nose to knee. On your inhale, look forward, lengthen. And on your exhale, you'll lift the torso up, extend the right leg straight. Other side, bend the left knee up, sit up nice and tall. Again, make sure the arms and the inside of the left knee, you're gonna hinge forward from the waist. The hinge is coming from the hips, not the back. You're gonna take your arms out to the side. That's step one, is just kind of being here, right? Working on this hip hinge. Step two would be bending the elbows and reaching for a bind behind your back. Bind means just taking your hands together, interlacing them, or however you can get it. If you're good with the bind, you can even try grabbing that right wrist with your left hand. Good. Inhale, let's lengthen, look back up. And then from here, we're gonna cross the ankles, take your hands out in front, come to high plank position, shoulders over wrists, and exhale, come all the way down to your belly. Reach your arms out forward, your toes are pointed back behind you. And on your inhale, lift your hands, your shoulders, everything up. This is downward facing boat pose. So your arms are reaching forward for this one. Legs are lifting off the floor. Breathe here for 3, for 2, and 1. Release your hands down. You can let your hands come down behind your back now and just drop one head or one cheek to the floor. Come to your forehead, interlace the fingers behind your back. Reach your fist towards your feet. Exhale all your breath. Inhale to lift. Hands reach towards your feet. Thighs lift off the ground. Shoulders are lifted and breathe. Take one more big breath in. And as you exhale, let it go. Other cheek comes to the mat. Let your hands rest. Good. And from here, gently transition into child's pose. So press your seat back to your heels. Relax the forehead down. Take a few moments just to soften through the lower back. Maybe feeling some expansion in that lower back as you breathe in, and some contraction in the front of the abdomen as you breathe out. All right, come to all fours now. You're gonna drop your forearms to the floor and see if you can keep your forearms parallel with one another. Your hands, your palms are completely on the ground. All right, so spread your fingers and make sure your wrists are lined up with your elbows. Your shoulders are on top of your elbows directly. You're gonna look between your hands, curl your toes under, and start to lift your hips up into Dolphin Pose.
So if you're working on a forearm stand in your practice, you're advised to look between your hands. But if not, you can always just drop your head and look between your heels here. Keep your heels really high. See if you can keep your shoulders right on top of those elbows instead of like pressing them back towards the feet. And press the forearms firmly into the floor. See if you can get a little space between your ears and your shoulders. Hold it here. Breathe for 5. Breathe for 4. For 3. 2. And then 1. Drop your knees slowly. Press yourself back one more time. Child's pose. And actually come forward and drop it into a puppy pose. Stretch out through the shoulders. Walk your hands forward and melt your heart down. Keep your butt up in the air, right over your knees. And then you'll slowly come back up and lie on your back. So now we're coming onto our back. And we're just going to do one bridge pose here. So feet are hip distance apart. On your inhale, you'll lift one vertebrae at a time. Keep your feet rooted down firmly into the floor. All 4 corners of the feet are pressing downward. Your arms can just be reaching towards your feet, or maybe you want to take your shoulders underneath your body a bit and interlace the fingers. And then release your hands and lower it down nice and slow. From here, let's lift your pelvis up, scoot it over to the right, drop your knees over to the left. You can stack them or stagger your feet. Arms come out to a T or into goal post. And try to keep that right shoulder blade more or less on the floor. You look over that right shoulder. Good, and then we'll come back through center. And then scoot the hips over to the left. Drop the knees over to the right. Breathe there. Good, and then come back through center. One more little hip stretch here. You want to extend your left leg straight, bend your right knee in, and I want you to again externally rotate your hips. So your knee's coming out to the right side, your hip is opening up, and you're going to take your arms, it's like a leg cradle. So you're going to take your, if possible, take your knee into your right elbow and your foot kind of in your left arm, kind of cradling this leg. And you can kind of maybe a little gentle rock side to side might feel good. Or just hold it steady. Good, and then extend that right leg long when you're ready, and you'll do the same thing with the left leg. So just bend the left knee in, turn that foot out, or knee out. And anytime you're bringing the knee out to the side, you want to think about moving your leg from your hip joint rather than the knee. That's a lot safer. Good, and then let's release. Make your way into your Shavasana. So maybe you will get chilly. You might want to take a sweatshirt or socks, put them back on. And then you'll lie all the way down onto your back.
I like to take a blanket under my head. If you're doing the same, just make sure it's firm support. It's not too elevated off the floor. Yeah, maybe a blanket over your body. Lie all the way down, allowing yourself to rest fully. And just start to soften. Allow the floor to support you, to hold you. Allow the floor to hold your body, rather. And allow your breath to hold you. Start to soften from the crown of the head down to the toes. So relax through your forehead. Relax your jaw, your cheeks. Maybe a little space between your lips and your teeth. Feel that relaxation float down the arms, the upper arms, the lower arms, into the fingers. Allow your relaxation to flow back up the arms, from the lower arms to the upper arms, to the heart center. Relax. Relax down the front of the abdomen, the lower back, the hip joints, the upper legs, the lower legs, your feet and your toes. Relax. Now that your body is fully relaxed, bring your awareness on your inhale from your feet up to the crown of the head. Follow that flow of awareness as you exhale from the crown of the head down to the feet. So follow that upward moving awareness on your inhale to the crown, and follow that downward moving flow on your exhale towards the feet. And perhaps even notice any parts of the body that are hard to follow. Sometimes you're trying to follow the flow, but it almost gets dark, or like you can't quite follow it. And just notice those areas. And be kinder there. Have more compassion, more self-love. Now just release, relax, and soften the way you hold yourself. Soften any effort and just simply rest. Start to deepen your breath. Bringing your awareness back to your navel center. Watching the rise and fall of the abdomen. And start to bring that awareness outward towards the extremities. Maybe move your fingers and toes a bit, slowly and gently. And just roll onto one side when you're feeling ready. Rest your head in your arms. And you'll make your way back to a comfortable seated position. And we're just going to do 2 shortened rounds of nadi shodhana to end class. So make sure you're in a comfortable and stable seated position. We're going to use the right hand. We'll bend the middle finger and the index finger. And you're going to bend the index finger and the middle finger. You're going to use the ring finger and the thumb to shut off the left with your ring finger and the right with your thumb. And I'll guide you through that. So just get your fingers set up. Make sure you have a nice vertical alignment from the base to the crown, base of the spine to the crown. And start to bring your awareness right here at the tip of the nostril. So watch the breath, or feel the breath rather. Right at the tip of the nostrils. Maybe you can feel that cool air as you breathe in, and just feel the warmth of the air as you breathe out. And then see if you can draw your awareness a little deeper into the center of the forehead without scrunching your forehead or putting too much pressure or strain in the eyes. This is a space your mind likes to rest, if you'll let it. All right. As you breathe in, we're going to breathe in through both nostrils. And then shut off your left nostril with your ring finger and exhale through your right. Now close off the right with your thumb and inhale through the left. Close off left, exhale right. Close off right, inhale left. Close off left, exhale right. Release your hands, inhale through both. Notice what it feels like between your left and your right nostril now. Do you notice any differences? Next time you breathe in through both nostrils. Close your right nostril with your thumb and exhale through your left. Close off your left with your ring finger and inhale through the right. Close off the right, exhale through the left. Close off left, inhale through right. Close off right, exhale through left. Release your hands, inhale through both. Again, notice and assess the differences between both nostrils. Draw your hands together in front of your heart. We're just going to close with that sacred sound of Om one time. You can join or just listen. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Peace to all, light to all, love to all. Namaste.